Today's daf is daf mem aleph, and we'll just review so that we could have an easy takeoff on daf mem amid beis. We quoted Rabbi Shimon, and Rabbi Shimon, in disqualifying both rovea and nogeach for the mizbeach, for what we call a psula krova, and Rabbi Shimon asks, once we have rovea, why do we need nogeach? Once we have nogeach as possible, why do we need rovea to possible? In both cases, there were two eidim that testified either that the shor was rovea or the shor was nogeach, and therefore it's chayav skila. And Rabbi Shimon had said that there's a chumrah in rovea that doesn't apply to nogeach, and vice versa. And the chumrah of rovea is asabo ones kirotzon. So that would mean that if the shor was nirva to a Jewish woman, even though it was honest, so to speak, on the part of the shor, nevertheless, the shor is posel mizbeach. And the chumrah of nogeach is that in the case of nogeach, which is a shor that's responsible for the death of a human being, the Baal HaShor has to pay kofer. Whereas in rovea, there's no chiyuv kofer. And therefore, he had to tell us that both rovea and nogeach are posel mizbeach. And now we're going to study Rava's interpretation of Rabbi Shimon. So we're on Daf Mem Aleph Amid Aleph, and we are up to Rava Omar on the top line. Li Olam de Rava Vikatla. The case of Rab Shimon is where the shor was rovea a woman, and as a result, he killed the woman. Udekokashalach, and then you ask the question, why do we say that in this case of rovea there's no chiyuv kofer? After all, the animal was responsible for the death of the woman, of the nirvas, and therefore there should be a chiyuv kofer. And malik tola bekarnai, malik tola beravia, what difference does it make whether the animal was responsible for the death of a human being because it gored the human being or because of the sodomy act? And the Gemara answers that there is a fundamental difference between the two. And that is that Keren Kavanos Lahazik, in the case of Keren, where the animal gores a person and the victim dies, that's a chiyuv kofer because it's Kavanos Lahazik. The animal is belligerently attacking a human being, and as a result, killed the human being. But high in the case of rovea, Kavanos Lanos Atzmohu. The rovea was not interested in injuring the woman who was nirvas. There was no kavanah lahazik, and therefore there's no chiyuv kofer. So this is the shita of Rava in explaining Rabbi Shimon. However, as we learned on the previous Amud Memamid Beis, Abaye had a different interpretation. The Gemara wants to know, why is it that Abaye did not accept Rava's interpretation? And the Gemara claims that Beregel Shedarsal Gabi Tinok B'Chatza Nizog LaAbaye Mishalim Kofer LaRava Lo Mishalim Kofer. The fundamental machlokas here between Abaye and Rava revolves around the case of an animal that killed a human being, but not deliberately for the purpose of killing the human being, but as it was walking, it trampled the human being, in this case a child, Nebuch, to death. And this took place in the Chatzar HaNizak. And in the Chatzar where the Tinok was, there we have a chiyuv of regel, because regel is part of Rishus HaRabim. And therefore, when a behema damages something beraglea as it's walking, that only generates a chiyuv to pay in the case of Chatzar HaNizak, not in Rishus HaRabim. Abai says in this case of regel, the Baal Hashor is chayav kofer. And this, despite the fact that the animal had no kavana lahazik. Rav, on the other hand, holds that in order to be mechayev the bailim kofer, the animal has to have had kavana lahazik, a deliberate intention to injure the victim. And in this case, Rava says there's no chiyuv kofer because the shor had no intention to attack the human being, in this case the tinog, and therefore there's no chiyuv kofer. So Rava is now free to interpret Reb Shimon as establishing a ptur, an exemption from the chiyuv kofer in the case of a shor that killed a person, in the case of Rovea, because in the case of Rovea, the shor ha-Rovea was not motivated by kavanah lahazik, but rather kavanah l'shem hana. Now, at this point in the sugya, we're going to go back to the issue of shor ha'itztadin, which is a bullfighting shor that has been trained to be belligerent and to attack, and the machlokas between Rav and Shmuel as to what the status of this shor is vis-a-vis akrav al gabi mizbeach. And we're going to bring a support for the sheet of Rav. Tanya kavase de Rav, a brisa to support Rav, shor ha'itztadin, eino chayav misa, right? Because we said that's magniach, it's not nogeach. V'kosher al gabi mizbeach. According to Rav, it's hava atalia. If the shor is not categorized and condemned for death, for skila, in this scenario of a shor ha'itztadin, and there's no chiyuv skila, therefore the shor, according to Rav, haba atalia, does not have the psul of a shor niskal, and it's kosher mizbeach. And the brisa adds 3 words, mipnei shehu kima'usa. We see the shor as if he was anus. Ma'usa means he was forced into it because that was the way he was trained. And that is the shita of Rav. And that leads us to the Mishnah here on Daf Mem Aleph. A shor killed a person. Muad, if the shor has already killed twice before, this is the 3rd time that the shor killed a man, is Meshalim Kofer. The Baal HaShor has to pay Kofer, and that means that he pays for the Yorshim, those heirs that inherit the deceased, the victim. And this is called Nezek Sholem, a full-fledged Kofer. Vitam. However, if the shor had not killed anyone, or it had killed on 1 or 2 occasions in the past, Potem min HaKofer. There's no chiyuv kofer whatsoever. So the law of Chatzi Nezek that applies in general for the damage of a shor tam does not apply with regard to kofer. It's an all or nothing proposition, and since a shor tam does not machayev kofer sholem, therefore there's no Chatzi kofer. However, the shor that killed, even on the first occasion, is to be put to death with skila. The Gemara is going to ask, if that be the case, how could you ever have a case of kofer of a shor amuad? The Mishnah continues, v'chein b'ben, v'chein b'bas. It doesn't matter who was killed by the shor, whether it's an adult or a minor. In both cases, the same dinim apply. The shor is niskal, whether it's tam or muad, and the bail will pay, in the case of muad, a full-fledged kofer. Nogach, if the shor muad was nogach an eved or an alma. Now keep in mind that a knani, when he enters into avdus, or a female knanis into imos, there is a tvilo l'shem gerus. it's not a full-fledged gerus, it's the gerus of avdus that imposes a chiyuv on the eved equal to that of an isha. And now the shar killed an eved, and the shar was a shar muad. So what's the deal in this case? No saying. The owner of the shar has to pay the bala eved shloshim sloim. So whereas in a normal case, there is kofer, which is relative. Relative kofer means in a normal case where the shar killed a full-fledged Jew, we evaluate the life of either the mazik or of the nizak, which was a machlokes Rabbi Shmuel and the Chachamim earlier. But in the case where the shar killed an eved, then there's a flat payment, a penalty of 30 sloim. Bein shehu yafeh me'amona, bein shehu yafeh l'dinur echad. No matter what the value of the eved who was victimized and killed by the shar, there's a standard price that the kofer entails and obligates the Baal Shar to pay. And that's shloshim sloim. The Gemara says, since a shar tam is put to death after it kills a human being, so the chiyuv skila is not dependent upon whether the shar is a shar tam or shar muad, and immediately on the first negicha, we put the shar to death because it killed a human being. Is muad heichem ishkachas. When do we have a chiyuv kofer? That the bailam have to pay kofer because the shar was a shar muad. How did it become a shar muad? And the Gemara is going to suggest a number of answers. Omar Rabba, according to Rabba, what's the case? Shamdua, kigon, shamdua, lishlosha b'nei adam. In 3 cases, they were able to adduce evidence that the shar would have killed through that negicha, meaning the shar was running, pursuing after a person for the purpose of negicha, and Bezdin, in Yiddish we say shatzed up, they evaluated the situation that if not for the fact that the man somehow miraculously ran away, he would have been killed by the shar. So the shar, for all practical purposes, is called a shar muad based on its intention and its efforts to try to kill on 3 different occasions 3 different men. Now, we cannot put the animal to death because it did not successfully kill the person. But nevertheless, the shar has the status vis-a-vis the bala shar as a muad, such that now, after the 3rd negicha, if it kills successfully, as it intended to do so, the bala shar will have to pay kofer. And kofer is a chiyuv that you pay when your animal was a muad for killing human beings. Rav Ashi Omar, that's not true. Umdin klumu. Although it might be true that the shar was running, pursuing a human being for the purpose of being nogeach, but we need a negicha mamish in order to establish and generate the status change from tam to muad. Ella, says Rav Ashi, have to offer us an alternative interpretation. What's the case? On 3 occasions, the shar attacked a person and successfully attacked a person to the point in which the person, the victim, became a goses. And we have a principle that stam gosim lemisa, and eventually these 3 people never died. So now we find out, after they all died, that the shar is chayav misa, and yet on the last negicha it became a shar muad. Brother Svid Omar, I have an alternative. Kigon shaharik shlosha behemos, and the shita that underlies Rav Svid, his principle is that if the shar is a muad to kill animals, then it's also going to kill human beings. Maybe it didn't have an opportunity to do so, but it's muad li'adam. And we're asking if muad l'behema, muad li'adam, a person is a bar das, what we call islay mazla, and he can protect himself. So that even a belligerent shar that has killed 3 animals successfully, nevertheless, we don't believe that he's muad to kill a human being. El Omer of Shimi. Now we have to come up with an alternative interpretation of our Mishnah. And now Rav Shimi lays down a principle that if the animal is muad to kill human beings, it matters not whether they are Jewish or non-Jewish, it becomes a muad li'adam. The animal has no problem attacking belligerently and putting to death a human being. And even an Oved Kochav has mazel, and he could have protected himself with his intelligence. On the other hand, we can't put the shor to death as a shor niskal, because shor niskal is only chayav for harigas Yisrael, not for harigas akum. But now we have a case of a shor that's a muad, and it became a muad by killing 3 goyim, and there was no middle of the road chiyuv misa as a shor niskal in between. The fact that the shor is capable of killing non-Jews, that doesn't mean that they can kill Jews. The mazel, the sar, so to speak, milamala, that protects a human being is not as powerful, not as intense and profound as the mazel, the sar, that protects a Jewish person. The animal became a shor muad without being chayav skila, because on 3 occasions it killed a treifa. And the halach of a treifa is that he has the status of a bar ktola, and therefore we do not put the shor to death for killing a treifa, just like if a healthy person would kill a treifa, a human being would kill the treifa, we don't put him to death. Just because the shor was successful in killing 3 treifos, a treifos karv misa, he already has a damage to one of his vital internal organs. Does that mean that this shor is capable of killing a human being who will protect himself? He's a healthy person. El Omer Rav Papa, what's the case of a shor muad that was not put to death on the previous occasions of killing a human being? The katal v'arkli agma. The shor, after it killed a human being, ran away. And we can't find it right now. It's concealed in such a way that we can't take the animal out for skila, although we should if we found it. And v'katal v'arkli agma. Every single time that witnesses testified against this shor, that the shor killed a person, they couldn't get a hold of the shor in order to put it to death through skila, but rather the shor was boreach. And therefore, befall, they didn't put it to skila. And the most sophisticated answer of all the answers that we have is now coming around the bend. Rav Acha Bereder Rav Ikomar Kegon Shehuzmu Zomime Zomime. After every negicha, when the shor killed a person, 2 witnesses came in to testify on this shor that it killed a human being. There was a Gemar Din L'Skila, and then after the Gemar Din, 2 other Eidim came and said, Imadu Ayisam, they were mazim, the first pair of Eidim. So Lamaisa, they didn't put the animal to death because the Eidim Amazimim are believed against the Eidim Zomim. But then, after the shor was nogeh 3 times, other Eidim came and they were mazim, the Eidim Amazimim. That's called Huzam Zomime Zomimim. And they said Imono Ayisim to the first pair of Mazimim, who said Imono Ayisim to the first pair of Eidim. And now what happens is we neutralize, or shall we say, we disqualify the Eidim HaMazimim, and therefore we resurrect the original Eidim, and we qualify them as Eidim Ksherim, and now we have 3 testimonies about the shor, that the shor killed a person. And therefore the status of the shor is that of a shor muad, such that now with this negicha, the Baal HaShor will pay kofer sholem. So again, the reason why we didn't put the shor to death was because in the interim, we had a mazimim pair of Eidim who said Imono Yisim to the original Eidim. And therefore we disqualified the original Eidim, and we could not possibly put the shor to death. And then the Mazime Zomimim came into Beis. More asks the following kasha: if you're telling me that the reason why a shar becomes a shar muad is because we established on 3 occasions that the shar was nogeach, even though the bala shar was not warned, the shaper, everything makes sense. In this scenario, the shar became a shar muad. Ela'iyu the gavra be'inon, and if the whole purpose of the Edim is to warn the bala shar once, twice, thrice that his animal is a nakon, well, there was no valid hasra, there was no valid warning ashara through the Edim because we had azam against the Edim. And Neymar Amale, the Baal Hashar could say, Lo Havi Yadana, I didn't know that this shar was on its way to becoming established as a shar muad because Bezdin never accepted the Eidos. They rejected the Eidos based on Azama. And the more answers go on the Amri. We're talking about a case where the last pair of Eidim say, Kol Emas de Kotel Tore Gabe Havi Koi. The testimony is that the Bailam were with the Shar and they witnessed the Nagicha on every single occasion. They can't say, well, we didn't know that this Shar was really a Shar Nagchan because we didn't trust the Eidim because Bezdin had accepted Hazam against the Eidim and disqualified the Eidim. No, they can't say that. They were there present to see the Shar Nogeach. It happened right in front of their eyes. Ravina Omar, I have another scenario in which this shar became a shar muad and was not put to death on the earlier negichos in which they caused the victim death. The witnesses came in, they recognized the balashar, meaning he had a group of shvarim. They don't know exactly which one of his shvarim was nogeach. But we know that the shar nakon that killed a human being belonged to so-and-so. It came from his refes, from his corral. Therefore, we couldn't put the shar to death because we didn't know which shar was the one that was the killer shar. But after the third negicha, the Eidim recognized the shar. Hey, we've seen this guy before. We've seen him on 3 occasions. He's the one who was nogeach the first 2 times. And now there's the third occasion which he killed a person. And therefore now the Bala Shar will pay kofar and the Shar will be chayv skila. Frekti Gemara, my havi leila mevad. What should the Bala Shar do in order to protect his Shar that it shouldn't be nogeach? He doesn't know which Shar. He's got 10 shvarim, 10 oxen in his corral. And the Gemara answers, Mishum di Amri le, we say to the Baal Hashvarim, Tura nenagcha islapik vakur. Amongst the shvarim that you have in your refes, there is one that's a killer shar. You should have provided the high level of shmira for the entire refes and built whatever powerful doors to protect and prevent this from happening again. The Mishnah establishes Zevizeh Chayovim Misa. And the Gemara now quotes a brisa referring to this din of hasketing a chiyuv misa. Tana Rabbana, we learned in the brisa when the pasuk says in Mishpatim, "V'chiyigach shoras isha umeit for mates." So kol yisakel ashar v'lo yachel soro bal ashar naki. Mimashra shenemer sakol yisakel ashar eni odea shenevelahi unevela asura be'achila. Why did the Torah have to warn us and prohibit us from eating the basar of the Shar Niskal when the Shar Niskal is in Avela? It was killed without shchita. So what is the pasuk lo yochel es b'sor coming to teach me? Magilcha kosev shem shchato li achar shenigmar dino. The Torah wants to add a big chiddush here. There was a Gemara din on the shar is chayv misa, chayv skila, and then someone came along and shechted the shar before they got a chance to stone the shar. And therefore the basar of this shar is not an avela. It comes on the Torah says, lo yachal b'saro asur b'achila. You're not allowed to eat the basar even after shchita because there was a gemar din on this shar that's a shar niskal. And once there's a gemar din, the Torah adds an iser of lo yachal basaro, even if there would be shchita and the animal is not an avela. And here we have a whole discussion here about whether or not the shchita was meaningful at all, or should we say that it's a shchita sheina ruya because since there was a gemar din already on this shore and the shchita cannot be mat to the basar, it's a shchita sheina ruya, and therefore it's not a valid shchita at all. The nafkamis can be tumas nevela. Mainly elabachila. Okay, fine. Why can't I take the animal's body after shchita and sell it to a guy like any nevela? Ah, ba no minayin tamalom balashor noki my mashma. Shimon ben Zoma Omer Ka'adam Shomer L'Chaver Yotza Ish Ploni Noki Minchasav Ein Lo Ba and Hanoshel Klum. We have a special pasuk here with Balashar Noki to extend the Isser vis-a-vis the Basar after Shchita, which was after Gemar Din, from an Isser Achila to an all-inclusive Isser Anoah. You're not allowed to sell it to a guy. You can't have any benefit from the carcass even after Shchita, because what's Balashar Noki? Noki Minchasav. He is emptied out of his possession because it's asur. So let's say, for example, you would take the nevela of the shar niskal after shchita and you would give it to a woman for kiddushin. It would not be chal because you don't have any ownership over the basar of the nevela. Again, it's when I call it nevela, I mean because the shchita is not a meaningful, valid shchita, and you have no ownership over the basar. It's not yours. It's asur. And Isurei Hana lav mama. So Gemara asks, "Umimai de lo yochel besaro lehechad shchato achar nigmar dino shosam achila." How do you know that the pasuk lo yochel besaro is referring to a case where he shechted it after Gemar Din? Ema, maybe I would say, playing the devil's advocate, that hechad shchato lehachar nigmar dino shari bachilu. The shchita after the Gemar Din is a meaningful shchita to be mat to the basar. No, so what are we going to do with the pasuk lo yochel b'saro? Hi lo yochel b'saro lehecha desakle miskal. It's talking about a case where they already did the skila, and the asur, as we derived from the pasuk earlier, we're going to assume that the basar is asur. Why? Because after skila, the din of the basar is that it's isurei hana, and that's the chiddush of lo ye'achal es basar. Now, lo ye'achal es basar literally translated means you're not allowed to eat the basar. How do we know that that pasuk means you're not allowed to have any benefit from it? Kid Rabbi Avo. And now we invoke the principle of Rabbi Avo, and Chizkiah disagrees with Rabbi Avo. The Amar Rabbi Avo, Amar Rabbi Lozor, kol makom shenemar lo yochal. Lo sochal, lo sochlu, echad isa achilu, echad isa no mashvat shifar lekol kosu, shemuta ba'no kederech shepirat l'cha b'nevela. In the case of nevela, after the Torah says lo sochlu kol nevela, the Torah says lager asher b'sharecha titnena, which means that it's muta ba'no. And lager b'nesina lo v'kolcha b'mechira. So to a ger, let's call it a ger toshav, we're allowed to give the basar nevela as a gift. And to an akum, we're allowed to sell the basar of nevela. So why did the Torah have to teach me that lager asher b'sharech ditnena that's mutar ba'no? Obviously, it means that lo sochlu generates not only an isur achila, but also an isur hana. And therefore, wherever it says in the Torah, thou shalt not eat, according to Rabbi Avo, that means thou shalt not benefit in any way, shape, or form. So now we're back to the kasha. Since lo what was it say again in the pasuk? Lo ye'achal es b'saro could teach me now, according to Rabbi Avo and Isra no after skila. How do I know that the shchita before the skila is meaningless and cannot effectuate a heter in the basar? Amri, the Gemara answers, when do we apply the principle of Rabbi Avo that lo yochal means Not only achila, but it's kol, it includes also Isra Noah, Mili Hechad, Nofik Leili, Isra Achila, Isra Noah, Bibikra Below Yocha. When you derive the Isra Achila from Lo Yochal, then Rabbi Avo expands the Isra to include even an Isra Noah, not let it benefit from any shape or form. But here in the case of Shah Niskal, the Isra Achila, Misakal Yisakal Nafka, that the Isra Achila already derives from the fact that the Shar is Chayav Skila, and it became, the Basa became the Vela, Salkedaita. If you want to say that Hai Lo Yeyochal is Besoro Isra Nahu, Nichtov Rachmana Lo Yehene. If the Torah, we already knew the Isra Achila, and now the Torah wants to add an Isra Noah to boot, the Torah would have said Lo Yehene. Why does the Torah say Lo Yochal is Besoro? And the answer is the Torah wants to be Mechadish, a brand new Isra Achila, which applies to the Shar after Gemar Din when he shechted the Shar. Inami, another answer. Even if we'll say that the pasuk is referring to an Isra Noah in the case of a Shar Niskal after Skila, Lo Yeachel es Lo Yeachel. It could have just said Lo Yeachel, and now we have two extra words: Es Bisaro Lomali. Why did the Torah add Es Bisaro? And that's a ribu the afagav de avde ke'ein basa de shachte. If after the skila, after the Gemara din of skila, he took something that is like shchita, we'll see what that means in a second, and he did a kind of shchita in the basar of the shar that was doomed and condemned for death, is nevertheless lo yachel. You're not allowed to eat it. So the ribui from es besaro, which are two redundant words in the pasuk, is going to be marb, is going to teach us that even if he shechted it before they got a chance to implement the skila, the basar is still awesome. Maskif la marzutra. Marzucha says that if you're deriving the conclusion that the shchita would not be mata the basa from the fact that it says es besaro, ema hanimili, I might have assumed that he needs to do a specific type of shchita in order to generate this new iser of skila, of an iser basal liachar shchita, if it was nigmar dino as a shara niskal, who's condemned to death by the bezdin.